So has many of you brought your makeup in with you today? Yeah? So you can do your eyeshadow and stuff like that, can't you? So I'm creating like an edge, and then I'm going to sort of like lift that as if it's been sort of ripped. Again, it's not easy doing it over like, you know, grooves and stuff like that on your face shape, because that can make it stand off. Have many of you got Halloween makeup booked in? Anyone doing Halloween makeups for anyone? Is it a funny feeling me working across your nose? So just a little bit left to do, just on that side. So if I'd have put some adhesive down first onto the skin, that would have helped this a lot better. But because you've not been skin tested, we can't really use that, so we're just using wax straight onto the skin. Do you mind just going and getting a little bit of petroleum jelly from the cupboard? It's just on the top shelf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over it with a bit of petroleum jelly, and that'll just smooth it out a little bit for me. Lovely, thank you. So just by putting a tiny bit of petroleum jelly on your finger and then going over it, I'll just sort of kind of smooth it out a tiny bit around the edges. So if it's cracking anywhere, you can kind of press down and smooth it. Has anyone seen the makeup artist called Powder? Yeah. Who said that? Yeah. What do you think of his work? Unbelievably clever. What he does with wax, I've never seen anyone work with wax like that. He's very, very clever. So you need to sort of have a look at him. He's really good. I'll write his name on the board for you. Very, very clever makeup artist to work with wax like he does. Because wax isn't easy. It's not an easy product. So yeah, very, very clever. He does like hands and things with muscles showing, and you know, tendons showing and things like that. He's really, really clever. In fact, I'll try and bring some pictures up as well to show you. So the Vaseline, have you noticed, as my fingers were pushing it down before I used the Vaseline, it was kind of being pulled off, which was frustrating, because that's what wax does as it gets warm, if you've got warm hands and stuff. But the Vaseline on top, it kind of smooths it out and stops it sticking to your hands. So if it gets really sticky, just put a little bit of Vaseline on. Right, I'm quite happy with the colour, although you can colour it a bit flesh-like. So if you just match it up with some skin tone, beforehand. But be careful, because you can actually pull it off again. So you have got to be a bit careful, you don't go pulling it off. I'm just trying to colour it in a tiny bit. Alright? And just make sure you put all your brushes to one side so you keep yourself working in some form of order, so you can follow it and it's tidy on your workstation. Because that's the sort of thing we'll be looking for. We'll be looking to make sure you are kind of keeping yourself tidy while you're working. So by using another spatula or palette knife, I'm just going to try and sort of like create like a cut. So just sort of putting an edge on it, and you can lift it up a bit if you want it to be a bit more jagged. So just use your palette knife or one of those spatulas. Does anyone have any questions about this? Are you looking forward to working with wax? Yeah? Yeah? So then look, I'm just sort of lifting it with my palette knife. So I've got an edge on it. Yeah. So I'm just sort of making a mark in it, and then just getting my palette knife and just lifting it. So it's got like a frayed edge on it. It just is sticky stuff, so I keep having to wipe my palette knife. So you can tend to pull it off if you're not careful, and all you want to do is just pull the edge away so it looks like skin peeling back. Does it feel alright for you there, Molly? So it is fragile. It can easily just fall off as well, so it is a bit tricky trying to work the two. So we want that illusion where it's peeling. Right, so I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to use is a black oil-based paint. So what you want is a little brush. So one of your little narrow brushes will work really well. And you're just going to kind of fill in underneath where I've lifted with a black oil-based paint. Yeah? So just here, you're going to fill that in with black. So just here where it's been lifted, just get that black oil-based paint in there. Yeah? All the way around the edge, like that. Okay. So that's like that. Right, I'm happy. I've got all that done like that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put some wound filler in that bit. So a tiny bit of wound filler. You can put some onto a spatula. Are you alright there? Yeah? So wound filler just onto a spatula will work. So, and then you can just decant it from that. So put a tiny bit on there like that. And then again, like your little brush that you've been using, you can just kind of push it onto your oil-based paint where you've been painting. So here's some, oh, is it falling off? So just here, just start to, there's a little bit falling off, so it's obviously, if it gets warm it will fall off. And this gives the illusion that it's flesh. So just here. So I'll come back to that in a minute. And just there. So if you lift it too much, it will fall off. So I've maybe lifted it a little bit high. There. And then I'm gonna just put some runny blood around the very edge of it as well. So where it's just here on the edge of the wax, I'm just gonna paint some runny blood. And if it drips, it's fine. But probably what I would say to you is make sure you do all your makeup look first. Because then what it's going to do, it's not going to spoil your makeup. Your makeup's on. And this will just add to the picture. It can be fragile though, because it's starting to lift here as well. Okay, there is another blood which I quite like. Scratch blood. Is it just there behind there? There's scratch blood on it. That's a little bit more gloopier, and that does work quite nice. Yeah, I'll have a little bit of that as well. So scratch blood is like a consistency. It's really like thick, and it's a bit stringy, but it will sit on the edge of the wax really nice. So if I just put that there. I just put your face like that, look.